Earlier this year, I tried to make a 30 days no sugar challenge experiment. I've tried this kind of experiments before many times, and nothing lasted for more than 10 days. But this time, I was surprised because my experiment indeed worked, and it is going to be 10 months as I'm completely off of sugar and processed food, which is something that I couldn't even dream earlier of how dependent I was, with constant breakouts on chocolate and cookies. In this video, I'm going to tell you what did I do exactly and why this thing finally worked. First time ever, I am so sure that I can sustain this life forever. So let's get into this. First and foremost, what put me on a path of success was finally catching my own pattern in action. The last time my craving fired and I was about to go my regular road and just indulge in it, I catched myself and I thought, what if this indulgement in this craving is the exactly same thing that is leading to creation of a new craving that will appear next week and that I'm going to indulge in again? Because if I'm doing it now, what's gonna be different next week? Why would suddenly I stop doing this? Which I wanted to stop eating sugar and processed food for quite a while. So the moment I catched myself, I was like, what if I wouldn't do it right now? What if I would do something differently and I wouldn't buy sugary foods? What would happen then? What if I would simply not allow myself to do it anymore? And I decided to try. I decided I will not let myself buy processed food anymore and I will see how it goes. I blocked for myself the very act of buying it. And if I don't buy it, then I cannot eat something that doesn't exist. Because by that time, I wasn't already buying processed food to my home. And oh my God, surprisingly, but that strategy started to work. Whenever I had craving, I was reminding myself about the decision, and it wasn't that I don't eat sweets or, okay, I am not allowed to eat sweets. That was a simple decision of that I am not allowed to buy these things. And then one time I went to the shop, I got impulsive and the cravings hit hard. Usually my eyes started to wander around. I suddenly decided to take myself out of there because I'm not allowed to buy, right? So why am I staring, provoking myself into more impulsion? And that's when I found out my new strategy that started to work perfectly, and I'm still using it till this day. And I'm really happy of how it turned out and that it is so simple and yet so efficient. And I just went to a mineral water section, strong sparkling water with some berry aroma, and I took it instead in the moment when I was in the craving mode. And then I just left the supermarket. As I left it, I drank it as much as I wanted, filling my stomach with this discomfortable kind of gas situation, and then feeling the relief when the gas comes out. Surprisingly, that relieved some of the tension that I had because of the craving that was firing all my body, pushing me into the fight or flight mode, fight for chocolate or flight. And I decided that, okay, next time, if this thing happens, I'll just do the same. I'll just go straight to the sparkling water and grab and go. And how surprisingly that is. 4 weeks after, that strategy was still serving me well, while the time has passed already. And whenever that infringing thought would appear that maybe I just blew this all off and I just go and buy chocolate to relieve my suffering, I was reminding myself that it's been 4 weeks that I am actually putting effort and I'm trying to stay away from this. And if I do it now, and blew everything up, I'm gonna start from the square one again. I would feel slightly eased now, but I would regenerate my cravings again from the scratch. And it wouldn't get easier next time. It would actually get harder because here I am in the exactly same situations 4 weeks after, super clean, with the craving that is the exactly same thing that I'm supposed to be overcoming. So why, if I blew it all now, why would it be easier somehow? And then I imagined what if I blew it already up? And this is the next time, next 4 weeks that I survived, that I did it again. So how I'm gonna do it? How I'm gonna manage it now? I cannot just keep indulging, because if I keep indulging, then I will never get out of this cycle. And I decided to just stick with it because it was sincerely just feeling pitiful to blow my 4 weeks effort, knowing that I would just come back to the same place where I came from and it wouldn't get any easier. It would actually get the same. And this very moment that I'm struggling is the very thing that I need to find the solution for. Otherwise, I'll be just stuck and keep circling, returning to the same point over and over again. So as time passed by, I started to understand that most of my cravings are actually boredom, are actually tiredness from working too much, nonstop, not going outside for a rest. And the time went on, I started to feel more and more precious about my withdrawal time because time started to play in my favor. Whenever again that betraying thought would appear that, oh, maybe I just now go and eat and act like nothing happened, I was counting weeks on my calendar and just understanding that how long I already am holding on. And if I do it now, again, I'll just blow my 5 or 6 weeks effort, and it is not gonna get easier. I'll just restart from the same position again, going through the same path, same withdrawal, same cravings again. So I just kept on going. But whenever I'd be in a supermarket, my new treat was strong sparkling water with berry aroma. That was my must-have. So another helpful tool that I figured on this journey was that if for some reason processed food appears in my home, like some guest brought or present or whatever, for some reason if such processed food would appear in my home, I would just put it to garbage immediately with no regrets whatsoever. Because I knew that if this food stays on my shelf, in my house, in my kitchen, I'm gonna eat it as soon as my willpower loses its power. Because it's feed source. So that was my another step, that I just kept my environment super clean. No processed food was allowed to enter my space. And the last finishing point was I learned how to say no. When people in social events, gatherings offer me something sweet processed, most of the times it's of course cakes, pizza, something like that. I just learned a simple phrase that saved me a lot of energy, a lot of nerves, and my dignity. I'm saying, thank you, but no, I have an allergy. That's it. Most of the people, they like nod with understanding and they don't even ask which allergy or allergy to what. They are just like, oh, okay, understandable. And they just move on. And I just move on. And most of the times I just drink my sparkling water in a social gathering, or I eat something that fits within my diet, like cheese or some meats, sausages, nuts. So these small helpful tricks helped me to completely rearrange my mind around cravings and processed food. And for the first time in my life, to stay completely off of it and sure of myself that I can sustain my lifestyle forever. The most important in all this story decision was valuing my efforts and not letting me be impulsive and blew everything up, because I was understanding, because I was telling myself that it is not gonna get easier. If I blew everything up now, I will just restart and I will just need to go through all this path again. And it will never be easier. It will be easier if I don't do it now, because it actually gets easier. It is much easier to not indulge in the craving, therefore not reinforce it, therefore lower it the next time, than to engage in a craving, reinforce it, remind yourself again of how it feels, regenerate cravings again, and then keep walking the same path from the start. So I hope you found this short video valuable. This was a short description of my craving battle journey. Of course, it took me many more years to figure it out, to try it out, to change my diet. Before this method worked, I was already doing low carb. My home was already free of processed food. I was already aware and trying to manage myself, but still occasional cravings would just blow everything up. So that was the last puzzle for me, is to just forbid myself the action of buying this stuff. Because if I don't buy, and if I say no when people offer it to me, and if I throw it away when it comes to my house, then there is no way that I'm gonna eat it. Unless I'm stranded in some really hungry situation with no normal food available, like airport after 12 hours flight when there is only fast food chains, that would be completely okay from my perspective. That would be healthy eating behavior. Other than that, it can be and should be avoided, and there are really ways to prepare for it. Even not to be stranded hungry in the airport. That also can be prevented easily. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you find this valuable, and I'll see you in the next one.